Arm wrestling in North America has been defined by a handful of names during the last few decades. After John Brzezink's reign as the absolute, unbeatable champion ended, Devon Larratt arguably became the new poster boy. However, another athlete soon became known for his tenacious, unusual, and at times even controversial style. Therefore, it is perhaps unsurprising that Michael Todd and Devon Larratt had one of the most public-facing and outspoken rivalries the sport had ever seen. I am the Arm Historian, and this is the story of arm wrestling's most controversial rivalry. By the time 2008 rolled around, both monster Michael Todd as well as No Limits Devon Larratt had been working their way up the rankings in the North American arm wrestling scene. Both men had become multiple-time national champions in their respective home countries of the US and Canada, and had been making waves on the international scene. One of the biggest promotions of the time, especially when it came to super matches, was Neil Pickup's Arm Wars. And this year's edition, aptly named Deep Water, promised to be a who's who of the world's top Western arm wrestlers. The event would feature Devon Larratt taking on and winning against the best arm wrestler in the world, John Brezink, but perhaps overshadowed somewhat was an interesting left arm match between Michael Todd and Devon Larratt. Both men were the current champs of the league, Michael in the heavyweights and Devon in the super heavyweights. And although they had met each other several times off the table in the circuit, this would go down in history as their first recorded super match. Both men were better on the right arm, but during the match it became apparent very quickly that the lighter competitor, Michael, was seriously outmatched by the lankier Canadian. The monster jumped in for a quick press nearly every round, but was thwarted by a hand-dominant top roll from Devon.
He wants to get his power down and unable to do so straight away as Devon Larratt takes control of the hand and wrist. And Michael looks at him and says, okay, drive through that. And that monster Michael Todd dives into the tricep press, and you can see the effect on Devon Larratt. He's having to work hard, the Canadian athlete there, to hold Michael Todd up, but now he's got that position back with the elbow, and look for the counter from Larratt. Here we go, the big side pressure, and he gets where heavyweight champion. I think Michael at this stage may be wishing he'd stayed at heavyweight. It was a brave move coming up to the supers to try to take away the title of the man they call No Limits, Devon Larratt. Look at him goading Michael. Michael with the drive again. He's looking at Devon Larratt. He's actually smiling because he knows he's in all kinds of trouble. Little bit of mind games going on there from the Canadian athlete. He's just looking at Michael and saying, no way, you cannot pin that, no way. And he's right, because there's no leverage there from the man from America. Michael Todd in the black shirt is pulling with just his fingers. The strap has slipped up onto his palm. Look at that, it's crossed his palm. It's actually not on his arm. And he wants that strap positioned on his arm so that he can channel the power. As you can see in that shot, the strap is now in the middle of Michael's palm. Oh, that's a great. Shows that they're still fighting the monster yet. Trying to drive for the hook, but Devon Larratt not letting him anywhere near it.
In the end, the tall Canadian emerged victorious, with a decisive 6-0 victory. It was clear from this match Devon was the more dominant left arm puller, but this result did lead onlookers to wonder how the two athletes would fare on their better right arm. The answer to that question would come a full 3 years on. Both pullers by now had developed not only in strength, but had also fully grown into their own signature style of arm wrestling. In many ways, much different from their first competitive encounter. In 2011, the two men would face in their very first, high-stakes, right-handed super match. Once again at an Arm Wars event, this time called Acid Rain in Manchester, UK. Even though 3 years might not seem like a lot, both men had by this time committed themselves fully to the sport, and it started to show. Michael pulled out his signature open top roll, or depending on who you ask, King's move, as well as transitions, quick presses, and a bigger frame than he had before, while Devon on his side tried to counter with an entire arsenal of angles. In the match, Michael came out of the gate quick and strong, with Devon holding on for dear life, oftentimes with a high hook. However, whether it's because Michael quickly tired out under the weight of his new physique, or because Devon adapted his style to better fit his opponent, the match soon tilted towards the Canadian.
And the super heavyweight champion is working Todd with the press. Excellence that's made him famous. Enormous stride from Todd off the start. It's a running foul for the Canadian, but he starts to go to work with the furious bounces, the walk into the hand. That giant lever is such a weapon for the man from the Ottawa High Hookers, and he gets control. Oh, starts to give it to Michael Todd.
It is over. It's not over.
Against Horsepower. Horsepower starts first and he's on the offensive. Oh, look at the hand control achieved straight away by No Limits Devon Larratt. He carves back. Reminiscent of Ambush Nanastan, lies in wait and starts his own counter, gaining total hand control and trying to bleed the monster, do so much damage to him that he cannot recover. But the heart of Michael Todd is in a different league, and he starts to move in from an impossible position and tries to engage that tricep press. If the man from Arkansas can find it, he may be alive. Oh, so close. Oh, maybe the most impossible win of that man's glittering arm wrestling career, and he's made his name from winning the match. Michael Todd.
After the dust had settled, the super match ended in the favor of Devon, although both athletes were visibly drained. This super match had clearly showcased the physical prowess of the two men, as well as a continued acumen for the technical aspect of the sport, and perhaps even more importantly, in the grand scheme of things, an elevated level of showmanship and confidence. September of 2018 now brought the two veteran arm wrestlers to a head once again. The World Arm Wrestling League was bringing coverage and prize money never seen before, and by virtue of that, also some of the best arm wrestlers of the time. After battling through a slew of other athletes, it was only apt that the league's heavyweight title would be contested between these two men. In many people's heads, Devon was still the favorite, especially considering the outcome of their previous matches. But Michael had a trick up his sleeve. The way the wall was designed was to have as little interruptions to the arm wrestling matches as possible. To achieve this, the elbow pads were made bigger and fouls were called less frequently than they would be in another league. Michael had been relying on his King's move more and more throughout the years, and the World Arm Wrestling League was the perfect place to take full advantage of it. Devon, for his part, had been climbing the ranks and was still hovering around the absolute global top of the sport, but had been having issues with his elbows and had undergone multiple surgeries, leading to a noticeable decline in consistency and a need to adapt how he moved on the table.
Incremental wins. He can't take big sweeps. He can reach anywhere on the table, but he must time the movement. If he opens his hand and leaves it open for any extended period of time, Michael will capitalise and Devon's hand and wrist will collapse. Devon Larratt, super cerebral, but he is having to think hard now, and he's lost his wrist, regains it. That's the benefit he's got with the length of arm, the hand and wrist control. He's feeling for weaknesses, trying to see if he can bust open the arm of Michael Todd. Everybody of the opinion that nobody has the endurance of Devon Larratt. We're about to find out if that's true. There's that hand walk. This is exactly the same as we saw in round one in Manchester. Devon going to try and press through. Maybe even he thought he couldn't do. Expect more side. There's a big drive early from Devon. He's gone in early. He tried to finish it early. Look for the reversal from Michael if he can make this about arm. If he can make it arm on arm, he'll try and come around and press. And he needs to react now. He can't sit and wait. He's not going to burn out Devon as he thought he might. Devon with the climb. There was the attempt. Unsuccessful. Michael tried to dive in. I knew it was going to come. It's just a matter of time. Now Devon is becoming more comfortable. to find that gap. Starting to come for a press there, but he's got a little bit outside his shoulder now. This is a little more dangerous for him.
Digging in with that right leg.
Same move again. Michael Wise to it now. Big dive on the arm. There was the attempt again. Michael does it. That's elements together, and it just makes a good sauce, and that is what we're seeing here. Devon again trying to bounce from the centre and make this about a hand battle. If he can achieve that, it's big time in his favour. But Michael is aggressive to the side, a little bit like Todd. Great move from Devon there, great move from Devon. Brought it back up to centre. Michael stays with it, and those little moves, you see him? He'll just do that little push to the side.
Yeah.
What he's trying to do there is stop Devon from finding a balance point, an anchor point. And Devon's wrist has been sacrificed. He's going to press. Can he finish? He's sold it now. He's gone to the bank. Really needs to finish here. He saw Jerry Carteret do this successfully, and he's done it once himself tonight. Can he do it again? So very close. Michael's
Elbow follow on Michael Todd.
This is the skin of his teeth from Michael. I mean, he couldn't run anymore. Plays out here. Wow, that's a pick. And away we go. Massive drive from Todd. There's the hand and wrist, and Devon will sell it now. He's going to try everything he can possibly do to press through that arm. He will go to the bank. There's nothing left now. There's no opportunity to come back. He must finish this arm wrestling match. He's committed. He's driven forward. There is nowhere to run. He's pinned in. He's diving round the table. Anything he can do to get more leverage on this match. But Michael Todd has seated himself there and he's climbing. Watch for the big drive from Devon. He'll try to time it. He wants to extend the bicep of Michael Todd. If he does that, Michael's going to get a sharp pain in the back of his elbow and he'll be forced to give up. Michael's got to climb higher, keep that pressure applied. If he can get Devon onto his side of the table, he'll then look to sneak around and press. The range, the reach of Devon Larratt is like no one else, but he has no feeling in that hand and wrist now. And Michael climbs, little squeeze, stays tight. There's no elbow foul there. Jordy's looking for it, but it doesn't exist. That was a foul from elbow. It was actually Devon's. The elbow came on somebody, and he's on the running foul. Michael is looking good here. Very brave attempt to reversal from Devon Larratt, and he's actually managed to loosen the strap. Talk about fight to the death.
Are you kidding me? This is absolutely epic.
Michael Todd coming for the press. Michael tried to get on that shoulder. If he connects with that shoulder, the match is over.
Devon had him oh so close.
He's gone to the bank, and he's gone to the bank early. Needs to watch that elbow too. Michael Todd looking good for the monster right now. Devon sweating heavily. The man with no limits.
A lot of emotions from both men were on display during the match itself, and after the dust had settled, Monster Michael Todd was declared the victor. Even though Devon Larratt was gracious in defeat, the same could not be said for the average spectator's point of view. Many people looked at Devon as more deserving of the win, often critiquing Michael's arm wrestling style as well as the unwillingness of the WAL to intervene on clean fouls. Wherever your own perspective falls, Michael had gotten the title, and even though the battle was close, had come out victorious over Devon Larratt in a super match for the very first time. The two rivals would not meet in any official capacity during the next few years, probably partly because of a global pandemic. Yet, there were a couple of times when the two would face each other on the practice table. One notable example of this happened when Devon showed up unexpectedly and dressed like an old, or should I say older, man.
Dude, I've never cheated at anything in my life.
He showed up to a practice Michael was also attending. With fitness influencer Juji Mufu in tow, the pair caught Michael off guard, and the training quickly transitioned into a match of sorts between the two longtime veterans of the sport, signifying not true animosity, but at the very least, a competitive spirit between these two arm wrestlers that went further than just their super matches. In 2021, a new arm wrestling league was rising from the ashes of COVID. Backed by fitness influencer Larry Wheels and a wave of online popularity, they wanted to start out with a bang. Originally planned as Michael Todd trying to dethrone Levon, a replacement for Levon would be found in Devon Larratt. The match was precipitated by a bout of health scares for Devon, but went through, with Devon coming in even heavier than ever. Although to many, Michael Todd was the favorite coming into this match. After all, he was originally supposed to face the champ and had defeated Devon several years before. It became clear very early into the match that this would be a rather one-sided affair. Devon systematically worked through Michael's King's move and was clearly much stronger in nearly every angle. Michael's confidence visibly shrunk with each move or counter-move of Devon, and after several rounds had clearly all but given up, even at points asking Devon not to hurt him.
Wow.
Instead of finishing each and every round, the two even switched to an impromptu left-hand round to finish it all off, one that the large Canadian also won. After the match, it was clear to anyone watching that Devon had come in a before-unseen form and had done his absolute best to put a definitive end to the two arm wrestlers' long-standing, and up until this point quite equal, rivalry. In the end, it seems clear who got the upper hand in this rivalry. Devon won 75% of their battles, and most in a relatively convincing fashion. Michael's win, although controversial, came at a pivotal time though, and it shouldn't be understated how close these two North American athletes were for the lion's share of their careers. These days, there probably wouldn't be that much of a competition between the two, but Devon would underestimate Michael at his own peril. And so would every athlete that challenges either of these guys in the future. Do let me know which rivalry you'd like me to cover next. And as always, a major shout out to the Armians and Fingerfolk. Arm Historian, out.